Synonym. So
synonym.
Cinnamon.
Let's just crack on with the podcast, mate.
Yeah, no, let's do it. Can you turn my levels up?
So, yeah, of course. You good?
Cheers, yeah, that's better.
I've just turned myself up, so you're welcome.
Sure.
You said that's good. Okay.
Oh, yeah, shut up.
Okay. So, welcome to our first European Excursion, which we've now named it. I've just been trying to explain how you pronounce the word synonym to Sam.
I'm not going to try to embarrass myself.
We've recorded it. It's going in.
Oh,
our first European Excursion show. This is going to be a little bit less structured than the others. We're basically just going to go through the results that have happened both Champions League and Europa League over the last few days. So this is the Friday, so all of the games have happened, and we can get our fully fledged reactions. Wouldn't you say, Sam?
Yeah, no, we're going to react to each game individually. The game's been split into two, so Archie will do half of the Europa League, I'll do half the Europa League, Archie will do half the Champions League, and I'll do half the Champions League, and yeah, we'll just kind of break down. Some games will have more to say than others, but yeah, we'll see when it comes to it.
Yeah, okay. Well, why don't we just dive straight into it, you know? Head first.
Sure, would you like to start?
Oh, you know what, I'd like nothing more. We'll kick things off with the slightly less eventful game of the Tuesday night in the Champions League, which saw the hosts go to Madrid, where they won the trophy, but a different ground this time, the Vicente Calderon. That's the Atletico Madrid ground, isn't it?
I think so.
I believe so. Hold up. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no, it's not. It's the Wanda Oh my god, I've mullered that. The Wanda Metropolitano. Apologies.
You're miles off.
Yeah, I'm a mile away. Where's the Vicente? You know, I'll look it up later. It's less important. Anyway, Liverpool took the trip to their ground, the Wanda Metropolitano. You're welcome. And yeah, they didn't start off out the blocks well. Saul Niguez coming up with another huge goal for Atletico Madrid, as he has done so many times in his established career at the club. And they started this game off fairly well, Atletico. Scoring from a corner, the cross came in, sort of bumbled around the box a little bit. Niguez initially looked as if he was offside, but the ball was actually played in by Fabinho, and Sal put the ball past Alisson. And you've seen the pictures from the corner where they've got Atletico Madrid. Have you seen them? They've got a line of players at the edge of the box.
Think 4 players ready to prevent a counter-attack.
Yeah, no, completely. It's weird. I won't lie. It looks strange.
Oh, it's incredible.
Oh, it's a brilliant
genius.
Tactic. It's Diego Simeone. He's brilliant. I fully rate it.
He probably deserves to be the highest paid manager in the world.
Yeah, he does. He deserves his big old paycheck. And they Atletico Madrid carved out actually quite a few chances. I seem to remember Morata missing one quite spectacularly. The ball came into him and he just fully stacked it backwards in Morata-esque style.
Wait, Morata missed a chance?
Well, the thing with Morata is, right, sometimes when he's on form, he genuinely looks like a world beater. Like, on his day, honestly, the power and pace that man has doesn't look like he can be stopped.
But for the price they paid for him, his day doesn't come often enough.
No, his day is like the 29th of February. It's like a day that doesn't often come. 29th doesn't come often, does it? It's 28 days they often have in February. Yeah. I mean, it's 29 every 4 years.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that was actually quite a good joke.
It was.
Thank you, mate.
I didn't realise it was a joke. That was just a statement, but, you know. Haha.
Yeah. I appreciate the laughing, though. And, yeah, really, Henderson had a really good chance for Liverpool. But aside from this, Simeone tactically outclassing Klopp in a very Sean Dyche way. It was very 4-4-2. We're going to set up 2 banks of 4, and you're not going to break us down.
Did Liverpool really want it, though? Because I look at I didn't see much of the game, I have to admit, but by their substitutions, they brought Salah off at half time, or there was an order to it. They might have either bought Salah or Mane off
They
side.
bought Mane off at half time.
Okay, they bought Mane
Origi.
off at half time for Origi.
To be fair, Atletico
and then they bought off Salah for Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Yeah,
they're very not negative changes, but they're bringing off a player of the higher quality and bringing on a player who's not necessarily as good.
Yeah, that's true. No, it could be said, obviously, he's focusing on the league. I mean, the league's basically wrapped up at this point. But I think it was with an eye on that second leg. because I don't think Klopp was sat there thinking, okay, we're gonna if Klopp genuinely thought they were gonna concede again, then I reckon he'd have kept those on just to try and nab a goal. But I don't think he was necessarily desperate to grab a goal, and I think he definitely has one eye obviously on the league and also one eye on that second leg. And taking it back to Anfield, in the now as I know, the Wanda Metropolitano, the atmosphere, Simeone had them going, and I think they wanted it more than Liverpool. Certainly, you could argue that. But yeah, Atletico played really well. They had their 2 banks of 4 that Liverpool just couldn't break down, and they looked good and deserving their 1-0 win despite Liverpool dominating possession but not carving out a whole lot of chances.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a I think that Klopp subliminal. Just don't use the long words.
Sure, subliminally.
Wasn't too disappointed. I mean, yeah, it's only 1 goal behind after all, and with their goal scoring threat, I know Atletico are a brilliant side defensively, but with their goal scoring threat that they have, they're more than likely going to score at Anfield.
Yeah, no, you'd imagine so. I can see it being certainly more of a free-flowing game at Anfield. Do you want to move on to the second game that happened on that Tuesday? Your Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah, no, an incredible game. No, it was a truly magnificent game for the German club Borussia Dortmund. They took on PSG and beat them 2-1 to the surprise of a few people, not to the surprise of me, of course, because I definitely have full faith in all the teams I follow. But Borussia Dortmund were absolutely brilliant. They set up their team really well. Lucien Favre deserves a lot of credit. He set up. They were quite deep, so that it didn't allow Mbappe, who was playing up front for PSG, to run in behind, and got rid of their threat. Neymar kept dropping deep because you could tell he wasn't quite fit, but just a bit overrated anyway. And I know.
We only do bold takes here.
I know.
No, I do agree with you on that. He is overrated.
Yeah,
fairly overrated.
I think he's overrated. But it was it was the man of the moment, Erling Haaland, who put Dortmund in front of the second half. After Dortmund had most of the chances in the first half, in fact, they were definitely the better team for the majority of the game. The first half they should have been like 3-0 up. But yeah, Haaland put him in front after a scrappy goal fell to a scrappy incident in the box, and the ball fell to Haaland just about a yard from goal, who put it into the roof of the net and followed to do the Gandhi celebration, meditating.
So good.
Absolutely loved it. But then 6 minutes later, PSG paid one back, got an away goal, which could be important for the second leg. Neymar grabbed that after a ball in from Mbappe. The only thing Mbappe did all game, he probably touched the ball about 13 times.
That's a very specific number there.
I don't know how many, but like I imagine it's around like 13, 14 times.
Sure.
All games.
I'm not going to dispute that.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, he wasn't really involved. But yeah, Neymar scored.
Did his best to try and put it over.
Yeah, sugar-coated a poor performance from him. And but then it was an inspired substitution. Before the first goal, Torgan Hazard was brought off for 17-year-old Raider, who I've said before hasn't been ready to.
Gone on record and said.
Yeah, I've gone on record and said that he wasn't necessarily the right sub to bring on in some of the games he's played. And when he came on, I have to admit I was also like, I don't think this is the game we should be bringing him on. This was his debut in the Champions League against PSG, one of the biggest teams in the world. But no, he came on and he got the assist for the second goal, picked the ball up, looked very lively throughout the game, brilliant dribbling, gave it to Haaland, who absolutely wellied it in from about 25 yards, hit the roof of the net. I mean, just
the sound.
Oh, what a goal! He is something else. He really is.
Oh, we're not criticising him this week, are we?
Last week, his goal scoring ability is something else. Like, yeah, he was better this week. He was against Frankfurt. He was a bit. How do I describe it?
Off the pace.
Not necessarily off the pace, but he was he was like rough. I don't really know how to.
A bit raw.
Yeah, raw.
Yeah.
That's it. That's exactly. He was a bit raw. His touch wasn't quite there. His flicks weren't, and link up play wasn't quite there, but got a goal anyway. This week he was a lot better. Still wasn't the finished article, but he was a lot better. The way his finishing was brilliant. His link up was brilliant. He was set a stupidly fast pace for a 60 meters. He was 0.3, about 0.3 of a second off the
World record
for 60 meters for a sprinter did in that match. Absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, PSG were incredibly poor. They didn't really have much of the game. PSG's performance was summed up by Kazawa, who in the game picked up the ball, beat 5 Dortmund players before proceeding to weak foot absolutely smash the ball out into the about row Z of the crowd when trying to pick out Neymar, who was just nowhere near him. And it was, that was hilarious.
Absolute hero to zero. He went from Pele to Welbeck really quick.
Yeah, no, it was porn. Yeah. If PSG play that again, I can see Dortmund take the second leg. Special mention to Hummels, who was also great.
On the Haaland front, do you think that there's a shout? Well, I mean, obviously, if he continues with his form, and it's a dead cert. But do you think he's got a chance of getting a Ballon d'Or? Because there's been quite a lot of talk about this, and there's been a lot of talk about can he actually. He's come in and he's taken Europe, not just Dortmund and Germany, the world by storm. Do you genuinely think that this could be the year?
The problem is the Ballon d'Or is such a broken, biased award ceremony, and even when they're retired, it will still be Ronaldo, Messi, and
Modric,
another person. It's basically always Ronaldo, Messi, and then just someone else they choose. But yeah, maybe I reckon it might be Ronaldo, Messi, and Haaland. I'm just pretty sure there'll be Ronaldo, Messi, even if they have awful years, but. There's definitely a shout. If he keeps up this goal scoring vein, then definitely.
Yeah.
Like, there's definitely a huge argument to say that he should be in there.
Sure.
Because his goal scoring ability is amazing. And if he could improve on his link up play and become more consistent with not necessarily goals but performances, then I definitely think he could.
Okay.
Definitely. And another shout is Jadon Sancho, who could also, if he carries on his performance, could be in with a chance at the Ballon d'Or. Because he has been absolutely phenomenal this year. And he completely outshone Neymar and Mbappe when Dortmund played them.
Yeah, he looked brilliant. He did look amazing. He looked so bright.
He is a brilliant player.
He will be huge.
England are incredibly lucky to have him.
Yeah. No, he'll be huge. Come Euro 2020, is that all you got to say on the Dortmund PSG game?
Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Also, I do just want to go back to me saying the wrong stadium. So I wasn't completely off. The Vicente Calderón was Atletico Madrid's old stadium. It's now the Wanda Metropolitano, so I'd like to clarify that. But now on to the Wednesday games. I'll kick things off with Atalanta. They were brilliant. So it was 4-1 win at home against Valencia in their first ever Champions League knockout game, and they looked unbelievably good going forwards. They looked ridiculously open going, at the back, which they typically do. Gasperini plays such a gung-ho kind of style that it just means that they're always open to that counter-attack. But no, uncharacteristically of them, they actually dominated possession. And they were playing it with San Siro. They bought about 45,000 fans,
that's pretty impressive.
Which I believe to be a third of the entire Bergameschi population. So a third of Bergamo took the hour-and-a-half journey from Bergamo to the San Siro. So imagine how empty Bergamo must have been. I've been there before, and it's empty anyway. It's weird. It's kind of in the mountains. It's a little bit of a strange place. It's a nice area in the town centre, but imagine how empty that would be with a third of the entire population gone. Unbelievable.
That's crazy. That's an insane stat.
It's ridiculous. And they drummed up some incredible atmosphere, and it was paid off. It was the first goal was a Hans Hatterberg goal. The first of his 2 goals that he got in the game. He looked brilliant. He's such a good player, honestly. He fits so well into Gasperini's system, sort of hanging around out right in their right wing-back position, and he sort of bombs up and down the right-hand side like a madman. But honestly, he's got such quality on the ball, and he's really one to look out for. Then just before the half went, Mario Pasalic assisted Josip Ilicic for his first ever Champions League goal, which, considering his goal-scoring record in the league, is quite surprising. But that's something like his 12th goal in 10 games, I want to say. He's on unbelievable run at the minute. One of the most informed strikers in Europe after the aforementioned Haaland. But yeah, that sort of brought us to the half. Atalanta looking comfortable, Valencia not carving out too many chances. But having said this, the second half came around and Valencia had a couple of all right chances. Galini had to make a couple of good stops. Toloi made a couple of really decent tackles. But it was an open game that Valencia could have really crawled themselves back into it. But a Remo Freuler wonder goal, it must be said, after Gomez got slightly tackled, sort of fell out to him, opened his body up. Quite similar to the Pasalic goal, actually, if you've seen it against Roma, but maybe I'd take it back 10 yards. It was an unbelievable finish. Keeper had no chance with it. Then the fourth, just after the hour mark, another Pasalic assist, the guy that Chelsea just sold for absolute peanuts. Another Hans Hatterberg goal, and that really sealed the deal for Atalanta. And going forwards, they're just so electric. And if you're a neutral or anyone really, you're rooting for Atalanta because they're such a fun team to watch. Like, they just really bring the life. They brought the life to this Champions League weekend. Midweek. This match day, they really turned up and showed that they can boss it with the big boys, so to speak. And as Valencia aren't, the standout team in this draw, but they are still far larger than Atalanta have ever been. And they looked really outclassed by Atalanta, and they didn't really know what to do. They did get a goal, maybe 5 minutes after the Hatterberg goal, a Denis Cheryshev goal, decent finish to be fair. And then from there, they had a couple of the chances going forwards to really, make it a tie, going back to Valencia. But at the end of the day, Atalanta just deserved this win. And yeah, they looked electric going forwards, as I say. I do slightly fear for them going into the second leg, simply because they play this, as I say, gung-ho style of going for all-out attack. I fear that they've struggled a little bit in the Serie A with this, that away they could really come under some hefty pressure if they start to give the ball away early and they don't kind of maintain possession early on. So I really do worry for them potentially going away, but with this healthy lead, they still should go through. And it'll be really interesting to see them in the quarterfinals, to be honest. But that's pretty much it on Atalanta. Do you want to go through the other game on the Wednesday night, which you have a bit of a personal story with, actually?
Yeah, no, this week I got the opportunity. It was a late birthday present from my uncle to have hospitality, be in a box for the Spurs RB Leipzig game. Of course, I'm not a Spurs fan, but my
Spurs, isn't it?
Uncle's my uncle's a huge fan of the club and has had friends who had a box that I was allowed to go in, which was pretty awesome. Got to see the new Tottenham Stadium, which I haven't been to yet, which I'd been really looking forward to. And the fact that I got to watch a German club play against Tottenham as well was just awesome. But yeah, no, this was it was a all right match. It wasn't too bad. Mourinho set up as quite a counter-attacking 4-4-2,
or parking the bus, as some people put it.
I mean, it was a counter-attacking.
Yeah.
Style
a bus
of
without
play.
a handbrake on. Yeah,
Brilliant. And then Leipzig lined up there 4-3-3 with Werner out wide, which was quite interesting, so they could play Schick. And to be honest, Tottenham were completely off the pace. They were very poor. I mean, I could list a lot of players in their starting 11 that had very bad games.
Yeah.
They're I don't think it was necessarily Mourinho's fault. I understand what he's trying to do against Leipzig, but the players didn't A, take their chances, and B,
they weren't disciplined enough,
yeah,
to be honest
they
with
were
you.
They were very poor.
Aurier and Ben Davies were caught so many times.
Aurier and Ben Davies are just not good.
Yeah. I see what he was trying to do, trying to soak up the pressure, but if you've not got the players to do it and they're not fully invested in it, and that showed, really.
They were woeful. I mean, I literally wrote a list of players that were terrible for Tottenham.
Don't need to go through
I'm not going to get through it, but there were about 5 or 6 players on there who were very poor. But yeah, take nothing away from Leipzig, though. Leipzig were absolutely brilliant. The way they moved football around, their attacking players very good. Missed a lot of chances. Werner looks a bit shy of confidence. He did score in this game. He scored the only goal, which was a penalty in the 58th minute after Ben Davies gave it away for just a really stupid challenge in the box. But yeah, Werner looked a bit lacking in confidence as he hadn't scored in a while. And missed an absolute sitter, one-on-one with the keeper, had loads of time, and ended up just toe poking it straight at him, which is quite strange. And Patrick Schick missed a chance in the second half as well, who had a decent game, but that was a huge chance.
He wasn't quite clinical enough.
Yeah, don't take it away.
Neither were. Yeah.
Neither of the saves away from Lloris. He was top class, both. For the entirety of the game, kept Spurs in it, especially first 5 minutes, where it was a bit of an onslaught. But no, a lot of positives for Leipzig. I mean, Mukalele, I think I'm saying that right, who's playing right wing back, had a really promising game, I thought. Ethan Ampadu, who's played very little football this year, had to fill in because of injuries and suspensions of the Leipzig centre-backs. He was, of course, for Chelsea man. He was actually had a really solid game there. You could tell he was a bit unfit. He pulled up with cramp, supposedly, with both legs, which I'm not completely buying during the game. But yeah, he had a good game. And the other player that I'd like to highlight is Nkunku, who looked very bright and was very
really
good for them.
Yeah.
But no, Leipzig have the away goal. Tottenham struggling without a striker. They need to bring in Crouchy to offer them something, because the way that Mourinho want them to play in that game is to get the ball forward quickly. And when you're playing they often look rushed in possession, and the balls over the top weren't. They didn't have the players to deal with them, so they played Ali up front with Mora. Mora did all right. He pressed hard, and Ali was a bit off the pace. He ran a lot, but didn't really do much with the ball.
Threw his shoe on the floor. That's probably the biggest highlight.
He
Chucking his boot.
He was not happy when he got substituted.
I quite like to see that from a player, though. To be honest with you, I don't mind seeing it. It shows that he's angry at how he's played as well as coming off. And I like a player wanting to play football, as bizarre as that sounds.
Sure, it's a bit disrespectful to the manager.
Oh, completely. Yeah, agreed on that front. Yeah,
but yeah, I like the passion about it, but. They kept playing balls over the front, and they needed someone almost tall just to flick it on or just to take it down, hold it up. Exactly, Peter Crouch. But yeah, the balls over the top for Moore. He just couldn't go on the end of. There were 2 opportunities where they were unlucky, almost played through, but yeah, wasn't their day. They haven't been performing well of late. They've been getting results lately in this game. They were very lucky not to lose 3 or 4-0. To be quite blunt, and they're going to have to do a lot to turn it around in the second leg. Who have with RP Leipzig, whose manager is one of the hottest prospects in the world.
Yeah, Baby Mourinho, he was dubbed when he first became Leipzig manager, and he beat Student became the master, as the commentators like to put it. They like a good storyline.
He's 32. It's
unbelievable.
He manages players older than him.
Yeah, he's unbelievably good. He's one of Europe's best. Is that all you got on the Spurs Leipzig game?
Yeah, that's it.
Sound one. Okay, so shall we hop on over to the highly, far more prestigious competition of the Europa League?
Yeah, no, I agree. Europa League is much better than the Champions League.
As Arsenal and Fulham fans, we can both concur. Thursday night action is really where it's at, isn't it? And it's one of the big nights. It doesn't get much bigger. We go to Romania.
Doesn't get much bigger than Romania.
It doesn't.
As Robert will understand.
Robert really wants Cluj to win this tie, and they've set themselves up quite well. So the game was 0-0 at half time, looking like Sevilla could ease out in the second half and go ahead. I mean, they had 70% possession. They had pretty much 20 shots. I mean, they were all over Cluj for large parts of the game. They just couldn't find that finishing touch. With De Jong up top, they really didn't have an awful lot with Suso and Campos accompanying him up top. But Cluj pressed forwards, a ball was put into the box, and a penalty was given away. It was a handball in the box. And it was poor, to be honest with you. It was conceded by Jules Koundé of Sevilla, sort of wayward arm in the air. And the penalty was calmly converted by Cyprien Deac. Robert, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'm really sorry. But I'm pretty sure that's right. And Cluj took a surprising lead. And I tell you what, if Cluj knock out Sevilla, this could be massive. It could be huge for Cluj, I'd say. But yeah, no, it got to the point where Sevilla were just bombarding Cluj with shots here, there, and everywhere. It seemed inevitable that they score, and then a ball sort of ended up coming through to Luc de Jong, who was put under instant pressure from the keeper, so went for the classic sweaty to Yusuf N. Nasri. And put the ball away into the back of the net, and they had a last gasp chance. Sevilla, a long shot that was saved into top right hand corner from the Cluj goalkeeper Arlauskis. And yeah, no, it finished off 1-1, and Cluj will take this. I mean, it's not the end of the world for Sevilla because they got an away goal, but home against one of Europe's proper big boys, and Cluj could go to Sevilla and potentially nick something, but my money is still firmly on Sevilla in this game. And yeah, no, that's pretty much all there is to say on it, really. Going back to Sevilla, I don't give Cluj a massive amount of chance, sorry Robert, but yeah, Sevilla should win this one. But it was a good Cluj gave a good account of themselves, so no, good, fair play to them, and yeah, we move on.
Yeah, now I'm going to move on to the Club Bruges against Manchester United.
We got a Cluj and a Bruges.
Not really relevant though, is it?
You missed my joke early. You completely ignored it. I'm really disappointed.
What? Which joke?
Okay, I said that this is huge for Cluj, and you just didn't say anything.
Is that a joke? It's a rhyme.
It's a rhyme, and you didn't even say it. I'm just kind of sad. Alright, carry on. No biggie.
Oh, poor Archie. Anyway,
I'm not crying.
Club Bruges or Club Brugge or whatever you want to call them played Manchester United in a very poor result for United. I mean, the game finished 1-1. Man United getting an away goal, which is good, but yeah, defensively dodgy, especially for the first goal, which is more of the keeper's fault. So the first goal was scored by Dennis the Menace, who got played over the top, and I think the defenders were going to deal with it, and Romero thought, nah, I'm going to deal with it. Started running out, found himself in no man's land, and Dennis had an easy chance to just dink it over him, and yeah, put Club Bruges 1-0
Where was Romero going?
It was bizarre. It really was
bizarre indeed.
But United equalised very or later in the half through Anthony Martial, who scored an incredible goal, one for the goal of the season.
Really was incredible assist.
Goal of the tournament, highlight reels. But this came from a throw-in for Club Bruges, who one of their players threw it to the defender, the centre back, who decided to leave the ball for Martial, which is very kind of him. Nice little assist there by the guy taking the throw-in, who raced through, and it was a good finish. It really was. United had more of the ball. Bruno Fernandes, I thought, looked very promising. Probably his best game in a United shirt, I want to say, so far.
Yeah. I
mean, he gets probably the worst opponent, but still his best game so far.
They've played Chelsea.
Funny. And, sorry, I just completely showed down there. But, yeah, United just lacked a cutting edge. Club Brugge actually had a few chances themselves, and they could have potentially won that game. Either side could have won that game, really. And but yeah, United go back with an away goal. They'll be they won't be too disappointed with this. Of course, United play against former Liverpool keeper Mignolet, so they were very happy to get a goal against him. But
doesn't take much normally.
No, but it's just not an incredible result, but definitely not the end of the world for United.
No, exactly. They needed that away goal, and they got it despite conceding. I fancy their chances to take it about to Old Trafford, don't you?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. The next game that I'm going to go with is Getafe hosted last year's Champions League semi-finalists Ajax Amsterdam. And Getafe high flies at the minute in La Liga, looking brilliant at the minute. And yeah, no, they've had a good time of it. They're doing well they're obviously doing well in the Europa League. But La Liga, they sit third in the table, behind the two big boys, which is incredible considering their squad.
They've been fantastic this season. They really have
overachieving, I'd say. Nyom, Alan Nyom. Yeah, we'll get on to Alan Nyom in a minute, because he's had a bit of a controversial time of it. But Ajax fielding their strongest team that you could probably imagine. They dominated the game possession-wise, but not converting chances. And Getafe took a 2-0 win. which is huge for them. The first goal was a very classy finish from Davison, assist from Matias Oliveira. Sort of classy finish into the top left-hand corner, and deserved at the time. Getafe, despite only having 34% of the ball in the game, totted up 11 shots, comparison to Ajax's 2. Again, the entire game, Getafe really didn't look massively threatened by Ajax. They didn't really carve out too many huge chances. Huntelaar, when he came on, the 85th minute, had probably their biggest chance of note, just sliding it past the keeper, but just inches wide of the post. Rolling back the years was Klaas-Jan Huntelaar. And then a foul goes in on Alan Nyom, and he rolls around the floor as footballers do. And Ryan Babel sort of wanders over to him. He's like, I've had enough of this. I've had enough of this diving nonsense, all right? You're not rolling around the floor anymore with me, because I'm going to join you. So he starts rolling around the floor with him in the exact... It's actually hilarious. If you haven't seen it, go on YouTube. It's brilliant. And then Nyom gets up and starts this really overemphasised limp. And Ryan Babel limps with him off the pitch in the exact same way. Honestly, Ryan Babel, I love you. I love you so much. But at the end of the day, Nyom had the last laugh, especially as ex-Chelsea legend Kennedy slotted away a deflected finish in the 93rd minute to really give Getafe an advantage going to Amsterdam, and really, putting them in the ascendancy of this particular tie. It was a fast break that Kennedy ended up slotting away, and it's really giving Ajax something to think about. This is a game that a lot of people might think Ajax should breeze past Getafe, thinking the history of the two teams. But Ajax this season haven't been their dominant self, I wouldn't say. I mean, they've been good, but they've not been quite, dominating the Eredivisie. I mean,
not quite Carling.
Not quite Carling, no. They've had Alkmaar pushing them a little bit this season, who I'll go on to later. But they do have a 6-point ascendancy at the top of the league, so they're not struggling massively. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out at the Johan Cruyff Arena. But we shall see. But yeah, Getafe 2-0 at home to Ajax. Who is the next? What is the next game that you're going with, Sam?
Next game is Eintracht Frankfurt against Red Bull Salzburg, and it was a game absolutely dominated by the German club against Salzburg, whose best players have left. I mean, Haaland's gone to Dortmund and Minamino to Liverpool. But yeah, it really showed. I mean, Salzburg looked lacking of those of a creator and a finisher, of course, in Haaland. And yeah, the informed team won. Frankfurt, of course, have been on a brilliant run in the Bundesliga this year. Bit of a hiccup against Dortmund, where they lost 4-0. But apart from that, they've been very solid.
Salzburg have been on quite a lengthy winter break, so they haven't played in quite a while.
So, and they definitely looked it. They looked very rusty. And Kamada put Frankfurt into the lead with a first of 3 goals. Got a hat-trick, which is big for the player. And he slotted it under the keeper. Really good goal. He also he secured the second goal with a really good goal. He got played through, chopped to the defender inside before a delightful chip over the goalkeeper to make it 2-0. Then he got the third with a deflected header. A cross came in and his header was deflected further into the corner. I think the keeper would have probably saved it if it hadn't been deflected. But hat-trick's hat-trick at the end of the day. He'll be over the moon, delighted with it. Kostic scored a misery compiler in the late on of the second half to make it 4-0. Played through. It was controversial because ball got played through. He was in an offside position before, but the defender almost sliced it and definitely deflected it, and he put it into the back of the net, and that wasn't given as offside. When I'm not sure that the defender has intentionally. I'm not sure what to make of it really. What do you think, Archie?
I don't know. It does look bizarre upon the replay, having looked at it. I wouldn't say that he has, made a separate attempt to play the ball. I'd say it's more of a deflection at anything. But I believe there was a VAR check at the time, Sam. I don't know. Was there?
No, yeah, there was a VAR check, and they think that there was a deliberate touch on the ball, and it got awarded. So Yeah, Kostic made it 4. They got a late goal. He Chan Wang Huang scored the goal for He Chang Huang. Yes.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
sure.
that is his name.
All right, fair enough.
Stop looking at me like that. Yeah, He Chang Huang scored a penalty for RB Salzburg to get a goal back after it was a penalty. And yeah, the game finished 4-1 with Frankfurt definitely looking the favourites to go to the second leg.
Massively. Yeah, interestingly, by the way, they brought it up on what I think is an incredibly good show, the BT Sports goal show that they have for the European Games. One of the pundits brought it up that Daichi Kamada's hat-trick in Germany doesn't count as a hat-trick. Are you aware of this quirk in the rule that they have? So in Germany, they only count a hat-trick as a proper hat-trick if it's scored in one half, and if it's scored continuously without interruption. So if you score a continuous 3 goals in the first half without interruption, that's a hat-trick. But if one spills over into the second half or someone scores in between, they don't count it as a proper hat-trick. So there's me dropping some more knowledge on you young'uns.
Let me drop a bit more knowledge on you young'uns. Kamada's hat-trick for Eintracht Frankfurt saw him become only the second Japanese player score a hat-trick in a major UEFA competition. The second being, of course, former player of the other team, former Salzburg player, now at Liverpool, Minamino,
Of course.
who scored the treble against Rosenborg in November 2018, which you all remember.
Oh, I remember it well.
Remember well.
One of the great games.
Fond memories.
Oh, that really kick-started his career, that did, yeah. Well, thank you for that, Sam. Thank you for dropping that knowledge. I'm going to go on to the next game. Now we've moved on from Frankfurt. I'm going to go on to Ludogorets, who hosted Inter Milan. And if I'm honest with you, prior to this game, I saw Inter slipping up. I saw them potentially... Did you actually just slip on your chair? That's embarrassing. And no, Ludogorets, they didn't really look threatening to Inter much of the game, despite having Padelli in goal, which I don't get why you wouldn't just shoot on sight when he's in goal. But yeah, no, they didn't look amazing. Inter, at one point of the game, had 80% possession. I've looked at it now and it's only 55%, so clearly Ludogorets did something good. Just everything other than score. They were dominated both in the game and statistically. They didn't have a single shot on target, Ludogorets. They had 1 shot in total.
Wait, you just called Inter Milan Juventus.
Did I call them Juventus?
Yeah.
Oh, my days. Oh, that's embarrassing. Oh, well. You know what? Right, okay, so I was completely off topic, but I speak that quickly.
Brain doesn't...
My brain's just not there.
I understand.
Obviously, yeah, no, apologies.
That's the same with me, and I talk slowly.
It's the same problem. Yeah, obviously not Juventus. Juventus are too good for this competition. But yeah, no.
They weren't in 2010.
Oh, well, yeah, of course, because you beat that. Oh, that's clever. I like that from you, Sam. But yeah, no, 0-0 at half-time, surprisingly so. Inter lacked quality. The half as a whole lacked quality. Inter, by the way. Then Christian Eriksen scored.
Christian Eriksen?
Yeah, well, I was going to say he came on, but he didn't come on. He started and played the entire game. But
we are spitting straight facts on this podcast.
We've gone from spitting knowledge to just spitting. Like, it's really bad. But yeah. Assist from Lukaku. Eriksen, really good goal. Looked sharp when he came on. Looked his best that he has in an Inter shirt so far. Deservedly getting the goal for Inter, who were waiting to break through, really. And then Romelu Lukaku wrapped it up in the final few stages of the game. And as a whole in this game, I mean, as I say, I thought Inter might slip up to Ludogorets, just being away, quite a hostile atmosphere. I saw, it potentially... I could see them potentially slipping up, but thankfully... Well, maybe not thankfully, but they didn't slip up, which is the important thing. And they are through into the second leg, where they should see this out. Interestingly, though, this is Romelu Lukaku, who has scored in 6 games in a row in the Europa League. The last player to do so, or do better, in fact, was in the UEFA Cup / Europa League, was Alan Shearer in 2005, who got 8. So Lukaku's got a few to beat that record, but there we go. We're back to dropping knowledge and not dropping the ball. Yeah, there we go.
Phrase.
Okay, well, it is dropping the ball. It's when you're not really with something mentally, you drop the ball. But there we go. That's the Inter game done. Do you want to give us some lowdown on
That's the Inter game done. Finally, we got rid of that one.
Yeah, God, get that out of her. Anyway, yeah, should we go to Denmark?
Let's go to Denmark and FC Copenhagen, who played the Scottish team from the pub league, Celtic.
Right, let's just call it a pub league.
No,
it is, but yeah.
Of course, managed by legends of the Scottish League.
There's not many.
Well,
we're just roasting the Scottish League.
Incredible Neil Warnock, who had a no. What's his name?
Neil Lennon.
Neil Lennon.
Yeah. Neil Warnock. Oh my God. Neil.
The landlord, Neil Warnock, has got to take it over a charge.
Neil Warnock.
Oh,
It's been a long day.
I'm so sorry.
We've been interviewing random members of the public today, and it's I have. Sam's been doing nothing, but it's been a long day.
Yeah, I mean that is a long day for me. And yeah, no, it was a tight affair. Both teams had lots of the ball. Celtic though in the opening exchanges, Edouard, who scored the first goal for Celtic, really good goal. Got the ball and just beautifully dinked it over the keeper. Had so many chances. And it could have really been, before it's 1-0, it could have been about 2 or 3.
Yeah.
With the amount of chances he had. And, yeah, it cost them in the end, not winning this game. Incredibly, Dame Ndoye got the equaliser for Copenhagen, a player you might recognise from his Hull days, where he was played on loan and was incredible for them, I must say.
He was pretty woeful, wasn't he?
He was all right. He wasn't too bad.
I didn't think.
But... yeah, it was and that was it basically. That snatched a point for Copenhagen. They go back. They go to Celtic Park now with 1-1. Celtic will be happy with the away goal, but will feel that they could have gone in with a bit of a bigger lead. While Copenhagen, who had Premier League legend on Ndoye, of course, Brian Oviedo, Varela, who's a Man United reject,
does it get better?
and Ragnar Sigurdsson, who failed at Fulham.
Oh my God.
All playing, yeah. It was a not a terrible result for Copenhagen and not a great result for Celtic.
Well, you make it sound like a high quality affair, Sam.
Oh, completely high quality.
Well, Fraser Forster's penalty save was possibly it was a good save, to be fair.
Yeah, no, he definitely saved his team. They could have
literally.
He really did. That could have snatched all 3 points for Copenhagen. Well, not 3 points because it's in the knockout rounds. But
3 points would be interesting.
Could have won them the game, which could have seen them. Celtic really struggled to get back in, but brilliant save for Forster. He's been really good for Celtic this season.
Yep. Yeah, no, he has indeed. Okay, I'm going to go on to the next game, which was a clash between Shakhtar Donetsk and Benfica. And Shakhtar, whenever they play at home at Europe, it's obviously an interesting affair, because recently they've not been able to play at their home ground in the Donbass region because of difficulties there, because of the fractious situation. Is fractious a word? I don't think it's a word. Fractured situation. I don't know why fractious. That's a new one.
I mean, we can put it in the dictionary.
You know what? I'm going to apply for it. And not on topic at all. But yeah, no, I think it should be a word. But yeah, no, still not playing in the Donbass region. Still playing at Metalist Karvik's ground. And yeah, they've been playing in Karvik for quite a while. But yeah, no, there was snow on the side of the pitch there, so they've clearly been having some lovely weather. And beautiful stuff. But yeah, Shakhtar won this game 2-1, and probably deservedly so, I'd say, on balance of the game. They dominated possession, had more shots than Benfica. They just looked good in general. They've got the absolute legend, the man that seems to have been around forever, Andriy Piatov, in goal, the 35-year-old. How that man is still playing, and how he's only 35, bamboozles me.
He is an icon of football.
Honestly.
You're thinking Messi, Ronaldo, Piatov.
Incredible stuff. Yeah, pretty correct
Not
pronunciation
bad.
there. For you, that's incredible. Yeah, the name Alan Smith's tricky to you, so yeah, you're welcome.
This was the Roasting Sam podcast.
Sorry, Sam, you roasted me earlier, so I figured I'd have to, bring it back up. There's tension in the air today. But yeah, the first goal opened the scoring was Alan Patrick, assisted by Marlos, who had a goal disallowed for VAR just 20 minutes into the game, but this was about an hour in. Then Benfica had the goal of their own disallowed by VAR. But then it was turned over because he was offside, but there was actually a penalty shout in there, so it was both an offside and a penalty shout, so the penalty was given, and Pizzi, one of Benfica's standout players this season as a whole, brilliant player, he converted the penalty to bring it 1-1, and then Viktor Kovalenko, a youth product of Shakhtar Donetsk, scored again. He's been scoring quite a little bit in Europe, actually, Viktor Kovalenko, and he looked quite good. Very decent finish, and just as a whole, Shakhtar probably deserved this game. Going to Benfica is not going to be easy. Benfica will count themselves lucky to have an away goal. But yeah, no, they certainly looked the better of the two teams, Shakhtar, and on balance, I could see them going through. They were very unlucky to still not be in the Champions League. It was all thanks to Atalanta's incredible Tyson Fury-esque revival. And it was really good. But yeah, no, as a whole, Shakhtar should win this one. But then again, they did well in this game, but I could see them potentially falling to Benfica. Shall we move on to Sporting Lisbon versus? You preview the game, Sam. I'm sorry, I took your job.
It's not Sporting Lisbon anymore. It's Sporting, as I learned the hard way.
Really?
Fans apparently attack you if you still call them Sporting Lisbon.
Oh Christ!
And they're now
Sam,
called Sporting. Sporting CP, I want to say. Yeah. No. Sporting played Istanbul Başakşehir.
Yeah, that's pretty
yeah,
accurate.
It's not bad. Who have the names of former Premier League legends Gael Clichy, Martin Skirtle, and Demba Ba in their starting 11. But unfortunately, they got battered 3-1 by Sporting, and it was another Premier League legend who opened the scoring, Sebastian Coates.
Oh, Liverpool legend.
What a player, who came up for a corner and volleyed at home. Surprisingly, not a header. Who put the Sporting in front. The top scorer in the Europa League equalised now. A new signing, Andres Spornar, who has just been signed from
Slovan Bratislava.
Slovan Bratislava.
Bratislava. It's the capital of Slovenia, I believe. Feel free to correct me, you Slovenians.
He signed for about $5.5 million, and who has been informing all competitions this year, has to be said. He's got 7 and 6 in the Europa League. He's got 12 and 11 in the whatever league, the Slovak League.
Slovenian League.
Slovenian League.
Sure.
Definitely the same thing.
100%, definitely the same country, Slovakia and Slovenia.
Yeah.
There's never been any tensions there before, no.
Shut up, Archie.
Yeah. Have a knock on the door. No.
Who just keeps knocking?
Oh, international flights coming straight to Northampton. Anyway, carry on.
And moving on from that goal, I guess. Luciano Vietto, formerly of Fulham, who scored a lot of goals.
Oh, he was
for
great
us.
at Fulham.
He was amazing, getting that one goal in the 30-odd games he played.
Shocking.
Scored a incredible goal where he got the ball, he dummied to shoot. The goalkeeper thought he did, though he didn't actually dummy to shoot. He just kept running in a straight line, and the goalkeeper bought it, fell on the floor, and he chipped it, or not even chipped it, he curled it over him, and that wasn't particularly ideal for the Istanbul team. But Sporting went in 3-0 in just the 51st minute.
I love you avoiding saying Başakşehir. The Istanbul team.
The team from Istanbul.
The side from the big city in Turkey.
We're talking about the team in Istanbul. They got a goal back. Edin Viska got a goal back for the for the team, and
the team. We can't even say Istanbul anymore. It's just the team. Oh,
absolute classic. He got a goal back for them. And, Sporting go back to...
Wasn't this absolute classic a penalty?
Yeah, it was an absolute classic. No, I'm talking about the game as an absolute
classic.
classic.
I see. Sorry, I thought you meant the goal was an absolute classic.
No, I was about to get onto
most
the
penalties
goal. Of course,
it
was a penalty. Good game. And Sporting go to Istanbul with winning 3-1.
Sorry, I'm just showing Sam one of the names I've got to try and pronounce. They're good result overall for a dominant Sporting side, I'd say. The game I'm going to go on to now is AZ Alkmaar. They hosted the Austrian side Linz ASK, or as they are commonly known as LASK, as I'm going to refer to them as. Actually, you know what? I'll refer to them as Linz. I'll shake it up. AZ early in the game, they looked very sharp. They looked like they really should have got a goal early on, and a through ball was played. They were running into the box. Their striker was brought down, their striker was brought down, and a penalty was initially given, but upon further VAR review, it was given a free kick, and that really could have changed the tie for Alkmaar. They didn't score from the free kick, naturally.
Naturally. Who scores some free kicks?
Not Alkmaar. They didn't, and it was actually punished by Linz, who went up the other end through Marco Raguts, one of the greats, and he slotted one home for the Austrian side. Good goal, I'd say. It was
descriptive.
It was a good link-up play in the build-up to the goal. And
you are talking absolute rubbish now. I'm not. You have no idea.
The ball.
Oh, it's just an incredible link-up play. That's the generic thing to say.
The ball was put into the box, probably.
Oh, this is terrible.
I've forgotten that goal. If I'm honest, it was probably good. But yeah, no. Lask on balance. They played fairly well. YIZ dominated possession. Yeah. They actually looked pretty good.
I should guess they looked pretty good.
No, they did. No, they had 14 shots to Alkmaar's 7. And no, as a whole, from the commentary I listened to, because it wasn't live. Well, there were so many live games I wasn't able to watch it live, so I'm only able to see the extended highlights on BT. But yeah, no. As a whole, Linz they did open up Alkmaar fairly easily. Created a few chances despite having the lesser of the possession. But when it came down to it, IZ eventually did get their penalty in the 86th minute for a handball in the box from the English-sounding James Holland. He might be
the English-sounding James Holland. We don't know if he's English, but the names sound pretty British.
No, he's Australian.
Oh my goodness me.
It is an English-sounding
name. You are
name,
having a mare.
This game I've planned out really specifically, and it's just all gone away. It's not gone well. But yeah, no. Toyen Koopminers slotted away the penalty. He would have originally lined up for the penalty earlier on, but obviously didn't get to take it, so now he got his chance. Slotted at home, 1-1. IZ then have to go to Austria and get a result because Linz got that away goal. But I fancy IZ's chance, to be honest. They looked a little bit better. They looked like they had more quality. As a whole, they looked like a decent team. Shall we move on? Definitely moving on.
Just quickly, though, did you know that AZ are actually the second top scorers in the Europa League?
Really?
Yeah, they scored 16 goals, only behind Braga with 17.
Oh, interesting.
Stat
attack right there. I like that for you. All right, mate. What else you got? What other games you got for me?
Got the Wolves game next, who played Espanyol, bottom of the league. Archie's freaking out.
We've got an order, Sam. Yeah, no, it's fine. We had an order to it, and now you've just ruined it. But that's fine, mate. Don't worry, you carry on.
I'll just do what I want, really. So yeah, shut up. So the Wolves, Diego Jota got a hat-trick in this game. The first goal was given to him before being taken away from him, and it just got given back to him. And so we think it's his goal. Might be an own goal.
It is his goal.
It has been officially awarded as his goal.
By the dubious goals panel, they awarded it to Diego Jota. So yes, it's his goal.
Yeah, so the ball came in. He had a shot which was just going wide, and it got deflected in. Oh, we're not really sure. It could have been going wide.
Yeah.
Archie?
Yeah, it could have been. Probably wasn't. Upon reflection, I doubt it was going wide. But it wasn't. It's pretty much all there is to say, really. Was it going wide or not? There's not much analysis that you can actually bring to that, Sam. So I don't know why you're throwing it over to me. Yeah, you crack on, mate.
Yeah, the next goal was an absolute screamer. Ruben Neves at the edge of the box got the ball and absolutely thunderbolted it. This isn't the saying. As he smashed it into the goal from about 40 yards out. To make it 2-0. 67th minute, Jota got another one. This was, yes, he did, Archie. This was one of his better ones, of course. Whose brilliant finish into the back of the net before getting the fourth and final goal from a corner, which he headed in. And Wolves go back with 3 points, and Espanyol
3 points. They don't go back with. They don't go with 3 points.
Go back with a win, and Espanyol bottom of the Liga and rubbish.
Yeah, no, they're pretty terrible actually.
I'm so sorry about how quickly this podcast is descending into a mess.
It really has. Okay. Let's move on to the equally interesting tie that I've watched so much of. The Cypriot side, Apoel Nicosia, get battered by the Swiss side, FC Basel. As a whole, Basel deserve this win, obviously. But yeah, no, they looked pretty clinical going forwards, actually. That whenever they got out on the break, they looked fairly quick, and Applewell couldn't really deal with them. At the minute for Basel, it's quite interesting in their lineup because they've had quite a lot of good young players over the years. But right now, they've got, it's almost like the old guard are in at the minute. And they're kind of carrying them through this tricky time in the Swiss League now, that young boys. Sorry, I'm just starting to choke. The young boys are challenging them.
You're right, Archie.
Yeah.
It's just a team name.
No, shut up. It's not because of that. I've got a cough. If you can't tell, I sound like death. So no change there. But yeah, no. A quick Basel attack. They looked pretty good going forwards. Defensively, they looked solid. Applewell didn't really change them an awful lot. But Applewell, yeah, as I say, defensively looked slow. They looked sluggish, and Basel capitalised on that. Not really much else to say. Just 3 good goals in a good, well-contested match of association soccer. So who would you like to?
I'll go to Leverkusen next.
Oh,
we'll go back to Germany.
He's restored order. There we go. You crack on, mate.
Yeah, we'll go back to Germany and Bayer Leverkusen at the Bayer Arena. Who played Porto in a very tightly contested game. Bayer Leverkusen coming away with 3 points, 2-1. They opened the scoring through Lucas Alario. After a cross came in, Demirbay flicked it on, and Alarios put it into the back of the net. Good finish, good goal. Kai Havertz made it 2. They got awarded a penalty, which Kai Havertz took, and the goalkeeper saved it. But looking at a VAR review, the goalkeeper appeared to be off his line, and so they ordered a retake, which Kai Havertz dispatched. Porto got a late-ish goal, which saw hope given to the club, possibly getting back into this game, but unfortunately through Luis Diaz, but they couldn't do it, and they're going to Porto 2-1 down.
They are indeed. Agreed. There's not much disputing that. No, they did. They looked alright, Porto, going forwards, but as a whole, Leverkusen probably deserved to win it. Havertz's first penalty was kind of weird though. So he does that really stuttered run up, and the keeper dives kind of the wrong way. But it's such a slow stutter run up. But they deserve the win as a whole. I'd say. Moving on, we go to Pyrrhus. I think that's how it's pronounced in Greece. Pyrrhus is something like that. But basically, Arsenal won away at Olympiacos, and I know we won a game away at football, and it was really good. It wasn't really good. It was a terrible game. As a whole, I say that so many times. I've sort of got used to it. Yeah, no, going to Greece is no mean feat. There was actually a section of the ground that the Arsenal fans had actually been told to stay away from, which is slightly worrying. But Ian Wright was there, so it can't have been that bad. And yeah, he was. Well, he's safety, isn't he? He's safety in a person. You look at Ian Wright and you think, oh, you're a safe guy. You know, seems like a good bloke, good egg.
It's not really relevant though, is it?
Cheers. Yeah. No, as a whole, the game was a bit of a midfield battle. Arsenal had the odd chance. Olympiacos also had the odd chance. And yeah, no. At the end of the day, it came down to a very classy bit of play from the currently in-form Bukayo Saka, who put it into a Lacazette run that sort of peeled off from his defender, put it in, and 1-0 Arsenal deserved win. Really big for them as well to get that away goal in an inexperienced side with an inexperienced manager. Arteta's first game coaching in Europe, and yeah, Arsenal on balance deserved it. Olympiacos had a few decent chances. Leno was put under some pressure but coped with it well. Socrates playing back in Greece for the first time in probably a long time. He got brought off unfortunately to injury right at the end, but we think it's just a dead leg, so it should be all right. And yeah, as a whole, Arsenal taking a 1-0 lead back to the Emirates, and they should see this out realistically. Who have you gone with next, Sam?
Got Rangers against top scorers in the competition, Braga.
I've heard a stat.
Brilliant. It was a incredible game with an Istanbul-like comeback. I'm not talking about the team. I'm talking about the Liverpool beating Milan comeback, of course. But
there was some confusion there. Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, of course, got to clarify. But Braga went in front through an incredible goal. You have to admit, incredible effort from far out by Fran Sergio. and it was a great strike to put Braga into the lead. Have anything to say on it?
Not particularly. No, it was a good goal. I rate it. Very good finish.
Thank you, Archie. Braga got a second goal through Abel Ruiz, formerly of Sporting, who got the ball and took it around a few players before putting it in the bottom corner from the edge of the box.
Assist from Trincao as well.
Of course, who's going to Barcelona in the summer, which is
€30 million.
Very good
reportedly.
player.
Yeah.
Very good player.
Good lad.
And yeah, Rangers looked dead and buried, but no. Ianis Hagi started to wake up then.
Yeah, Robert's loved this Thursday, hasn't he?
He really has.
The Romanian
Romanian Hagi.
Yeah, Hagi.
He is already Romanian.
Yeah.
It's just his son. But his father like son, he came into the game and was really influenced it. He was absolutely brilliant. He got a goal back for Rangers. He got the ball and put it in the near post, unstoppable for the keeper. Really good effort. And then Joe Aribo, not Haribo, Aribo, formerly of Charlton, got an equaliser, spying absolute limbs in the Rangers crowd.
He got a yellow 4 minutes after coming on, out of interest. There you go.
Cheers, Jeff.
Fun fact.
So yeah, headbutting the mic.
Classic.
Aribo got the equaliser, of course. Picked up the ball very far out and just kind of tripped over the ball for about 20 yards. A bit like sort of compared on Twitter to Rohan Ince in his prime.
Someone did, yeah.
And as he kind of tripped over the ball so much that he got the ball in the box, terrible defending, and curled it past the keeper to of course, make Steven Gerrard over the moon. I thought his reaction couldn't get any better than the equaliser. It could get better. Hagi scored again, got his second of the game, scored a free kick, deflected free kick.
Quite heavily deflected.
Yeah, very deflected.
I'm surprised it went to him.
Same. Very heavily deflected free kick. And yeah, Rangers came away with the win and an incredible comeback, incredible result, and a managerial masterclass from Steven Gerrard.
Yeah, no, they did very well, Rangers. They did a brilliant comeback, as you say. The Ibrox was bouncing. My last game that I'm going to take you lot through is Roma at the Stadio Olimpico. They hosted the Belgian side Ghent, and they took an early lead through Loni Carlos Perez from Barcelona. And as a whole, he looked pretty bright in the game. But it was a good finish, a nice assist from Edin Dzeko. And he kind of took the initiative, running through, kind of slotted it past the keeper. Very good goal. Good pass from Dzeko as well, who's very good this game actually, despite not being great against Atalanta, even though he scored. That's a hallmark of a good striker, I'd say. But yeah, it was a pretty end-to-end game. This one, Ghent can count themselves a bit unlucky to not have scored. Chris Smaldini had a brilliant game again. Yeah, Smaldini, brilliant. That's what we're calling him now. They called it. That's what they called him on the BT Live Score show, which I found incredible. But yeah, no, Smaldini had a brilliant game, and overall, Roma saw out a convincing 1-0 victory. They should go back to Belgium and win, but in their current form in the league, I wouldn't necessarily bank on that one. Sam, round it all up for us. Round up these games, here games.
We're gonna finish the game with the German team. Happy days. The podcast with the German team, Wolfsburg against Malmo, and this was a very good game. Bear in mind the comeback from the German team. Malmo went in front through Isaac Tellin.
Yeah, hello. On the ropes here, lads.
Not really, but Isaac Tellin, who scored for Malmo, put them in front, and Malmo. It was a good goal for them, really. It was a good header from him, and Wolfsburg then kind of started. Basically, I thought that the first half they weren't clinical enough. They didn't have that fire, but in the second half they really kick-started and started converting their chances. And it was a Josip Bracalo who scored for Wolfsburg to equalise, and it was a brilliant finish by him. He got the ball to around the defender and on the left foot curled into the top corner to bring the game back into Wolfsburg's clutches. Before Isaac Tellin, the guy scored the first goal, an own goal. It was a unlucky error from him. It really was. It just kind of rebounded and hit him, and went in, but
Naturally.
and it was unlucky. But Wolfsburg got the 3 points, go back to Malmo and try and win the game.
Yeah, as you do in football. That regularly happens. Teams try and win the game. Okay, do bear with us. This is our first one on European football. We're trying to get through all the fixtures. We're trying to watch all of the games, and it's getting to us, as you can probably tell. If we're hitting breaking point, no, it's fine. Really, it is. But yeah, no. Let us know if you enjoyed it. Where we've taken you through all of the Europa League games in some detail, more detail on the Champions League ones because there's less of them. But we'll be back again with this next week, maybe a day earlier.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it probably won't be because we want to cover Europa League games again. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe comment things you want us to add. Maybe if you don't want us to go through all the games or just want specific ones, just let us know what you like in the comment section on YouTube or just by messaging us on Twitter.
My DMs are dead. So
my Twitter is samcole2468.
Mine is @ArchCorbett for that shameless plug. Do send us anything, even if it's abuse. To be honest, we just need something. But anyway, on that bombshell, I think we're good to wrap it up there. Thank you very much for listening. If you're still here, thank you.
Doubt it.
No, you will be if you listen to this. Anyway, thank you very much. It's been a shambles, but yeah, much appreciated.
It will get better.
It will. Have a good weekend, my friends. Goodbye.
Bye.